Careless with Cash, the Empire.
And welcome back, guys. Episode 5 of World Soccer Daily, an Arc Soccer Collective original. Don't forget, follow, subscribe, like everywhere. We are back for this episode, and it's going to be a great episode, Wendell. We got a World Cup talk to go to, but we're going to get into the EPL weekend and some Real Madrid action in the La Liga. Talk about the MLS Cup as well. But first, Wendell, how are you doing, sir? It's been a couple weeks. I know.
Been a couple weeks.
Been a little busy, but hey, that's life. You know?
Yeah.
How have you been, though?
Life hits, man. I'm good, though. I'm good. I'm feeling like $1 million, which is probably more than how Trinity Rodman feels right now.
Yeah, she sure. she won't feel like that for long until she signs with Chelsea. You know, that's where all great U.S. women's national team players go. My team.
I can see it.
Yeah. They need to get that situation hashed out real quick though. For my girl leaves,
for sure.
We're back to square one in the NWSL with trying to find somebody to be the market. You know what I mean? But you know, I'm not. We'll get into the NWSL talk another time because you know. Sports.
Watch women's sports.
And we also have the World Cup qualifiers. And we have the World Cup group stage drawing to talk about. I said qualifiers. We have the group stage drawings to talk about. So that's going to take up most of the time anyway. So hey, that's how it goes. But first, Arsenal, Villarreal. Here we go again. Arsenal, Aston Villa, 2-1 embarrassment. Seljout loading, Mikel Arteta. What are we doing, Wendell? What are we doing?
I don't know, man. I was so high on Arsenal a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. They're gonna win the league. Like they're looking good right now." You know, these are games that you cannot afford to drop, and they are dropping them.
Absolutely.
So, you know.
I personally feel like I'm responsible for this because I said that at the beginning of the season, I said, Arsenal's got it. This has to be the year for Arsenal. They trended up last year. We thought it would be an easy route this year. I mean, I thought it would be an easy way for them to go right back into where they were and finish it out strong because you got Manchester City regressing a little bit. Liverpool, which we'll talk about later again, regressing extraordinarily, as a matter of fact. So it was almost like, it's yours to lose, and Mikel Arteta's doing that. He's losing it.
Yeah.
And it's also poetic justice, obviously, that he lost this game 2-1 to Unai Emery, who was the only other person to coach Arsenal after Wenger left, and he was only there for about 18 months, which is something I do want to talk about before we actually get into like the back and forth about what happened in the actual game. So for me, I remember, like, again, the first episode we did. So when we talk about Arsenal, it's always like it holds close to my heart, is because the first episode was Pray for Arsenal, and I said, and I'm gonna try and edit it into this video, where I said you have to stick with the manager through the tough times to see what can happen, and that's what they did with Mikel Arteta. But while I was watching this game, I realized something. Wait a minute. Yeah, Unai Emery. And look at what he's doing with Aston Villa. And I would argue that what he's doing with Aston Villa is far more impressive than what Mikel Arteta has done in these last couple of years with Arsenal. And you can only imagine what would happen if they had given him that time. So how do you feel about Unai Emery's exit from Arsenal? Being that I've said all this, had this long monologue, how do you feel about his exit from Arsenal with his success at Aston Villa? Do you think if they had kept him, they might be in a different position long term? Like maybe a couple of Champions Leagues would have been in the trophy case at this point, or do you think it's more of just, they just needed to find the right fit, and Mikel Arteta became that guy, and Unai Emery just needed to go somewhere else to be the coach that he is?
I think it's the latter. It's Arsenal, one of the biggest clubs in the world. You have to have these big names in order to, get the ticket sales and, get the revenue up. So Unai Emery, I think that he was a stepping stone into getting Mikel Arteta. They were like, all right, let's hire this guy at first, kind of see what he's going to do with the team, see where he can take it. And then we'll build off of whatever he had built or brought in, or, however he saw fit.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he was ever meant to be there long term. I always think that it was going to be a big name like Arteta.
Well, okay, so let me let me return the serve on that one for you then. For me, I always feel like when you get to these clubs like Arsenal or Manchester United, when they get off of having a long tenured coach like Arsene Wenger or Sir Alex Ferguson, the goal is always to find the next person that's going to do that. And I truly believe that when it comes to those teams and they get the new coach is always doomed. You need to pick up the ball and like basically you have to do what Arne Slot did last year every year now because you're the guy that's filling the shoes for the Jurgen Klopps or the Sir Alex Fergusons. It doesn't work out that way. These players were so used to whoever they were dealing with beforehand. It's gonna the first year, like even with college football, you're dealing with somebody else's recruits, somebody else's players. You got
Yeah.
to give it time to put your guys in. So for Unai Emery to go to get fired so quickly, and then you see the success he had immediately after, I do feel like it was a hesitation fire, similar to a panic fire, similar to David Moyes, who I always talk about again with Manchester United.
But yeah, no, I see where you're coming from. Do big clubs panic fire all the time? Yeah, I feel like that's part of the game nowadays, especially nowadays.
Mhm.
In any sport, really, like, you know, if you don't come in and have immediate success, you're gone. We pay too much money. We're paying for too many things in and around the club to not have immediate success, which, you know, is it's hard to come by nowadays. So when you get it, you got to keep it.
Mhm.
But if you don't got it, you can't keep it. So
That is very true. But let's get into the game for a little bit. I want to talk about Matty Cash. When I was watching the game, I just saw him on that right side, and I was kind of like, it doesn't feel like they're really guarding him as well as they should be.
he was killing him. He was killing him.
Like, I was like, I'm sorry. It was almost like it was like I was watching the game. And I'm like, hold on, what's happening here? Like he's just kind of like tearing up that side of the field, and nobody's stopping him. And then he snuck in
Yeah.
for that goal to level to get in the lead. And I was like, oh okay, here we go.
Right. Yeah, they were pretty much leaving that kid open in the corner, and then he hit a three. You're like, oh, wait a minute.
It was a very let him shoot situation, it seemed, and I'm just kind of like, okay. And then and for me, it's also again Arsenal. Why are you doing this? Like you're number one in the EPL. You guys got to play like you're number one in the EPL. Don't leave a Matty Cat. Well, why are you leaving? Play the game the way you've been playing to keep you where you are. But it just seems like anytime you get to like every time we get to the middle of the season for teams like Arsenal, and it's not just Arsenal, it's other teams as well. It's just like there's always this sort of okay, now that everything's going well, let me just drop some points. I don't think we're in a part of the season that is necessarily that difficult for Arsenal for them to be dropping that point at this juncture. I mean, I get Champions League played today is coming up, but none of that is an effect right now. These guys were fresh for this game. They should have came and got the result that I believe they should have got. I understand Aston Villa is a good team. I just believe Arsenal is supposed to be better.
No, I agree with that. This is a game this is a quote unquote trap game, if you will. You know, a team that they should be beating.
Mhm.
Should be on most days. I just feel like today, I mean, not today, but over the weekend, it just wasn't their game. In which no team is ever going to go 38-0, right? So like
Mhm.
you're bound to drop points somewhere. But like you said, fresh legs. You know, you're not coming off of any games earlier in the week or anything like that. You've had time to recover. You would think that you would be acting like, hey, this is a game that we need to win, and we can't afford to be lackadaisical about this.
Yeah, maybe the Thanksgiving food was really good for them. I don't know. But
the English turkey.
yeah, but I also we gotta talk about the game winner. I'm sorry, I said game winner for Matty Cash, but that wasn't the game winner. The scramble goal at the end.
And
I love that there's more extra time these days in the EPL specifically. It seems like they exaggerate, not exaggerate. They make sure they compensate for time wasted during the middle of the game. And it's given us is in the result we've ended with these late results where there's always an exciting goal at the end because there's so much extra time left. But there was something to me that goal specifically just felt like okay for me, I'm no expert coach, but it's just if the ball is in the box for that long, how is nobody clearing it? It was just a scramble.
It's crazy.
And it's like, guys, clear it. Somebody put a foot, book it out of the park, home run, do something. But it just didn't happen that way. And I'm hoping that this isn't what the Arsenal has for the rest of the season. Like just to like tie a bow on this and like move on to the next topic. It's just one of those things where it's like, Mikel, if this happens to you right at this juncture with Arsenal, there's nothing else to tell you. You're gone. Like you have to be gone at this point. You lost it. You lost to Unai Emery. I mean, Unai Emery's always going to step up for that game. I understand that, but you can't lose to him and then not win the title on a year where everybody seems to be trending down. Chelsea can't secure every point they need. United can't secure every point they need. I already said it, and I'm going to say it again. Liverpool cannot secure the points they need. You need to be the adult in the room for lack of a better term, and get the points that you need to win the EPL.
No, I agree. I agree with that. It's they got to be the adult in the room, which is probably hard to do for them.
Everybody just wants to come out and wear their whipped socks and get draws and lose games they're supposed to win.
Right? Yeah. But I mean, in terms of like all the extra time in the, I have my own issues with all the super duper extra time.
What are your issues?
We'll do it at a different time. So what?
What are your issues with it?
Okay, first. Okay. as the resident Newcastle fan.
Okay. I see where this is going.
There's a team, Liverpool.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
And City sometimes. They always get if they add an extra 7 minutes onto the game. The game is end to end. We're going boom, 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 back and forth. Mm-hmm. There are certain teams that when they are tied or losing, they always give them an extra 1 to 2 minutes more.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Those teams always end up scoring, and it skews the whole league. These are not games that they should be winning or tying, and it skews the league. They get extra time. There are these top teams.
So you said these top teams. I want to hear names.
Liverpool.
Okay.
City.
Uh-huh.
Liverpool.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes Chelsea.
Uh-huh.
Not a lot.
Okay.
Arsenal gets extra time. And Liverpool.
Sound like Nino Brown. Him. I'm going down. We all going down. But yeah, I agree with you, but I think that's also a part of just entertainment in sports. We got to realize that, it's a game, it's a sport, but it's also entertainment. They're always going to give the best guys a little bit of help. Think about it like this. Let's talk about American sports in that situation for a second. I got one name for you, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. That's all we got to talk about.
That's all I need to say.
Moving on to Liverpool, another disappointing outing, and it seems like every time we record an episode, there's always a Liverpool disappointed us segment, and this is today's Liverpool disappointed us segment. I should probably just do a little graphic for that. Y'all ready for Liverpool disappointing us? Yay! And then like a bunch of like stars come out and red stuff or whatever. But yeah, 3-3 against Leeds. Brandon Anderson got an assist. We won't have to talk about that, but go America. Konate's butterfly. I'm gonna talk about Konate after I get through a couple of things, but I really do believe he is the domino effect that led to the loss. Or not the loss. I'm sorry, a tie. To me, it's a loss, a tie. And it's just really sad to see this. And ESPN FC can't go on TV tomorrow and say it's Isak's the problem because he wasn't in the squad this time. Ekitike, I'm going to talk about Ekitike for a second. Ekitike, to me, is one of the greatest. This is like the greatest not debut. This is the greatest first season I've seen from a player where the team standing in the EPL doesn't reflect his performance. Every time he's out there, he's doing something positive for this team, for Liverpool. He's making positive strides towards goal. He's scoring. He got 2 goals today. Not today. He got 2 goals in that game. He might have made the wrong decision going to Liverpool. Like, I thought at first this is a great. I thought honestly he should have went somewhere else. I was like, oh, Isak's going to Liverpool. Why are you going to go to Liverpool too? You're not going to play before Isak. That went completely the opposite direction of where I thought it was going to go. But to me, it just feels like now I'm kind of like at a point where I'm like, man, maybe you should have went somewhere else. Maybe you should have went to Chelsea or City. Well, maybe not City, but Chelsea or Arsenal.
PSG.
So PSG, like go
PSG.
like because it's like you're not like I'm not gonna say he's not gonna win. Eventually, actually I'm gonna take that back. I don't know. He might not win anything with Liverpool, and he might have to be out of there because this team is trending down. They're sitting at number 9, and I don't know what you can do to fix this team at this point because every time it seems like they lose in a different way every single outing, and it's not like it's just one. I mean, it is one problem. It's the defense, but it's just a different way the defense is going to blow the game.
Yeah, they Konate, he's to be a free agent this summer. He's not doing a very good job at selling himself to other high profile big clubs.
Mm-hmm.
One, two. I don't think the Ekitike necessarily made the wrong decision. That being because when he came in, they had no striker. So he was supposed to be that main guy.
But just to like get in between. I'm gonna let you finish your statement.
No, you're good.
This is a team that doesn't necessarily need a striker. They have so many. They're like Chelsea. Well, not like Chelsea. They're a team that prides itself on having this boastful midfield. And when you have that midfield, it doesn't necessarily. I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter who's up top, but you can easily justify having a less than exciting striker when you have a Mo Salah and a Cody Gakpo and this extraordinary midfield attacking midfield, I should say. Not because there's not much defense or central midfield. Well, there's a central presence, but there's no real defensive presence in that midfield, in my opinion. But when you have all those midfielders, anybody can play striker. So for me to go out and spend all that kind of money on just strikers was crazy.
Well, before that, they did go out and buy Florian Wirtz, which him coming to the team put Slobberslide, he's playing right back. So crazy to me.
And he's not really, and that's the thing.
Not doing much. He's
in
not a defender.
In this new age of soccer, there are too many people playing defense that don't want to play defense.
Exactly.
That is a problem. I get it. It bleeds to these games where everybody's scoring. You see more games now where the score is like 3-4, 4-3, whatever, because they're running these 3 defender sets and they're running left backs and right backs who are actually midfielders, who are wingers and attacking wingers for that matter, not box to box wingers, but attacking wingers. So it's like, yeah, the game's changing similar to like how basketball has changed, where it's like we're just going to do this these different formations that people haven't seen to give a different look. But I say all that to say Liverpool signed guys who were defenders in name, but they weren't defenders.
No, that's fair. That's fair. They should have signed more defenders, but I think in terms of the Ekitike Isak situation, Isak can. So they lost with Darwin Nunez, Diego Jota, RIP.
RIP.
You know, is Cody Gakpo still there?
He's still there. It's quiet.
He's still there.
He's still there.
Yeah. Right. So I feel like he from their old team, all they have is Cody Gakpo and kind of not really Mo Salah now, but so you have to replace those winger or those attacking players with more attacking players. Isak can play on the left. Probably doesn't want to, but he can do it. So I feel like that kind of is the replacement for that kind of that Darwin Nunez role. Like he can run through the middle, but he can also play on that outside. So I think that's right now, in order for him to not have as much, not have as many eyes on him, not have as much pressure on him, I think that he probably should start playing on the outside, so that way he can kind of get his confidence up, get in the attack and play, get into the run and play, get fouled, get some free kicks like that. That all that goes into getting your confidence up as a striker.
Mhm.
So if you're doing the little things to try and get yourself into the game, not just when you receive the ball, you just turn and shoot. Like that's
Yeah.
not going to do much for you. You know what I mean? Like you're
But
not, you
pick up
can't be
pick up
that guy
soccer.
right now.
Pick up
Yeah,
soccer.
you can't be that guy right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like Ekitike, to prove to himself more so, because players are they always back themselves, right?
Mhm.
You're supposed to. You're the best in the world. I feel like that he made this decision to back himself, and I feel like it's paying off for him right now.
It is.
So,
It's paying off for him. Like I'm not
paying
going
off
to
for
take that away. I will never take that away from him. It's paying off for him. Like, no matter what, no matter where they finish in the season, he's played his hind parts off. Give him his credit. I
so
personally,
far.
so let's not get ahead of ourselves like
Yeah.
we always do with soccer players. But
Right.
he's proven himself as a great striker. His body of work is solidified. It's just about the winning. You can be like you can be like a Harry Kane and you can have all these tremendous goals and all these wonderful performances, but eventually people start looking at you and saying, "Why can't you win?" And I don't want people to point the finger at him and say he's the problem with this team, because there are times where the striker is the problem, where they're on the ball too much and they are sucking away the flow of the game for the offense. I don't think that's the problem with Ekitike. I think Ekitike is just one of those guys who's just similar to how I used to talk about my favorite soccer player of all time back in the day, Tammy Abraham, a guy who knows how to be in the right place at the right time every time the ball's in the attacking third, and that's how he gets his goals. He's very efficient.
Yeah, he's got a nose for goal for sure. He's definitely got a striker mentality.
Yeah,
He just got to keep it going.
Yeah, I just don't want the inevitable media storm to come his way where it's like, what does Hugo Ekitike have to do to win? It's like, what do you mean? What does he have to do to win? He's got 2 goals every couple of games. It's not what Ekitike needs to do. It's what Liverpool needs to do. It's what Arne Slot needs to do. And I feel like Arne Slot's name is still in the mix when it comes to what's wrong with Liverpool, but it's slowly getting out. It's slowly being taken out of the conversation, and you slowly start seeing, if you're like reading these articles and you're seeing what people say on TV, you start seeing these, oh, well, maybe it's this player or maybe it's that player who's not playing well. And it's like, yeah, I mean, all these players have to play well, but that starts at the training ground with Arne Slot.
Right. Yep.
That's just what it is.
They got a dinosaur and 3 traffic cones in the back line.
Exactly.
So I don't know what else they need to do.
And an old man named Virgil van Dijk.
And an old man named Virgil.
Love me some Virgil van Dijk. Love his play, but you gotta get that guy some help, man. He's it's like, look at what the Lakers are doing with LeBron James right now. This is the perfect example to bring into this conversation. Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves they're basically through these first 10 or so games carrying the Lakers with the scoring and passing and rebounding.
Yep.
And LeBron can pick and choose when he comes in and steps in and shows you he's LeBron James. They need to have a lineup. They need to have a combination of defenders and defensive midfielders who are around Virgil van Dijk, who he's directing, telling them what they need to do, getting them in order, telling them how they need to move, and then giving him the opportunity to pick and choose where he's helping them out on defense. He cannot be the guy who's entrusted with carrying the defensive load anymore. He's just proven that he can't do it anymore. His body's slow. Time is undefeated. Time waits for no man. When you get up in the morning and start moving a little slower, that's just age. And he's 32, 34, 30, 32, 33, 34, around our age. He can't keep up with 18-year-olds for so many more years. Yeah. Get the man some help.
Get him some help.
Before we move on, honorable mention to Tanaka for the equalizer for Leeds. He's playing extraordinary, but that kind of got lost in all the talk because it's Liverpool, obviously. But Tanaka, tremendous player. I think he needs to go somewhere other than Leeds this summer, but I doubt that'll. We'll see what happens.
He might.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, he might.
Especially after the World Cup. This year after the World Cup, I believe that there will be a lot of moves because people will be on the world stage, and teams who probably didn't have the opportunity to see them will probably throw a contract at us. So maybe he'll end up at Chelsea.
Everybody ends up at Chelsea. Man.
Exactly.
Come on now.
I gotta go on ChatGPT and put a little Chelsea jersey on them so I can put it on the internet.
I went on ChatGPT and I asked how many players can Chelsea sign in one window, and it said unlimited.
You broke ChatGPT when you said that.
Yeah. Cannot compute.
All right, so let's get out of the EPL and go into La Liga. Real Madrid lost to Elche 0-2. Pretty standard game. Not a lot, not a lot to take away from that. I just wanted to bring that into the conversation today so we could talk about where that leaves them in terms of the race with Barcelona for the inevitable La Liga title. At this point, it's almost but nothing but clear. It's either one of those two teams is going to win it. Right now, Barcelona has a 4-point lead. I think at the moment, I might have it pulled up right
Something
now.
like that, I think.
Three
Yeah.
or 4-point lead.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is Elche. Elche was at, I think they're number 6, 7 in the La Liga right now. I don't have them up, but they're top half of the table, and a team you should be beating, not losing 2-0 to. And I feel like this is going to come back to haunt them. But I don't know. I don't really know what else there is to say about that other than that. But the La Liga implications for them. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, fact check. Yeah, Elche is number 9 right now. After that win, and Barcelona does have a 4-point lead. So
I'm so good at this
yeah,
stuff. I'm
we
like
like that.
Cleo,
We
boy.
like that. But what was that question one more time?
I'm just like, what are the implications? Like, what is this going to haunt them when it comes to the race with Barcelona?
Yes. Yeah, I think every game pretty much haunts both of these teams. Because at any point, if you slip up, the other team doesn't. That's the race right there, because it's always so close. When you start slipping up, that's when things happen.
Yeah, and it does feel right now like every time I watch one or the other, it seems like they're dropping points or they're struggling. It's either here's how the La Liga games go for me when it comes to either of the teams involved in El Clasico. It's either a thrashing when I watch, or it's a upset that nobody saw coming. And I feel like I don't know if it's like a strategy where they're just resting certain players or putting certain lineups out there for these games because they're just like, okay, well, we can afford to, if we don't get the result, lose to this team, but we got to come back next week and handle our business when this guy comes back, or vice versa, whatever. But I don't know. I just feel like this is one of those years. This is one of those years where nobody wants to win it. Like nobody, neither team feels week in and week out like they're determined to win La Liga. And maybe they're set on Champions League endeavors or National Cup tournament endeavors or something of that nature. But I just don't understand what's happening per se, because Elche, Elche's not, I'm not saying Elche is a dud and you just walk over them, but 2-0, it was really nothing really to write home about.
Yeah, it wasn't Madrid's best game. I think the only bright spot that they had in the game was Arda Güler,
performing well.
Yeah, he played well. Obviously he missed goals, but I think he played well. But I think it's a combination of there's a lot of ball has been played in the last 2 years for these high profile teams that go deep into tournaments and stuff like that, and a lot of players do have that one eye on the World Cup. It's hard for them not to. It's hard for them not to. Everybody wants to play for the national team. That's that's why you grow up playing the sport that you love. That's what you do it for, to play for your national team. But I think Madrid also has a lot of injuries to key players, which you're supposed to just reload and go again. You are supposed to reload and go again, but I think that kind of messes with the flow of the squad a little bit.
So my thing with Madrid having injuries is Madrid has 3 teams in their team.
That's fair. That's fair.
You could have. I honestly, if I was the manager of Real Madrid, and I'll let you injure any 5 players you want to on that team. You should still be able to win the league. You should still be able to win games, no problem. Agreed. 5 players, any 5 players you want to. The rest of the team should be able to handle it. That's the type of team you have in Real Madrid. So that's why it's kind of like every time I see teams like this get formed and I see them underperform, I'm kind of like more critical of them. Like, to go back, I think the only time I was ever hypercritical of a team like this, or like as extreme as this, was when we go back to PSG with Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi. Maybe it's just I'm critical of teams where Mbappe is paired with other great players, but That's just where I'm at because Mbappe is honestly, for all the talk about Erling Haaland and Harry Kane and what's another striker that everybody kind of puts up there?
Lewandowski.
If Lewandowski, Mbappe is still the best of all of those guys. You don't
I
see
think
it
so.
you don't see it week in and week out because he has so many talented guys around, so many other talented guys around him. But I do need people to understand that we're looking at one of the greatest strikers. I'm not gonna jump off the extreme and say he's already there, but like he can easily. He's only he's still in his early 20s. He can
21.
easily pass the Ronaldos and the um Eto's and all the other great strikers of the world because he's just that good. So you need to perform when you have teams like that. I personally don't think you should be able to draw. We've seen lesser talented Real Madrid teams, and I say lesser talented, but take that with a grain of salt because they were still very talented.
Right.
The Galacticos not have these issues. Like the Real Madrid of past, or Roberto Carlos, and Ronaldo, and the David Beckham were laughing and not even taking games serious before. But now it's just like everything seems like it's just like pins and needles. We don't know how this game's gonna go with Real Madrid every time they play.
Yeah. One with the Mbappe thing. I feel like this team is more or less kind of in shambles right now, and I know Fede Valverde is the captain, but as the man leading the line for Real Madrid, I think Mbappe needs to take this team under his wing, and because they don't have an identity right now. I feel like he has the perfect opportunity to be their identity, and he really needs to take the team. But look, I got y'all. Let me take us there. And I feel like that will push him to a crazier level than he's already at, because he's already scoring goals. He's already doing the big things. It'll take him to another level where we do put him in that conversation with the Messis, with the Ronaldos.
You said it perfectly. He needs to be a leader, but let me push back on that again for you. Does he want to be a leader is the question.
I agree with that. I agree.
When soon as you said that, I thought about the video of him in PSG where he's just getting verbal lashing from was it Luis Enrique? I forgot who was the coach.
I forgot who it was. Yeah,
I'm sorry, but somebody was giving him the crazy like you need to want this for your team, like pointing at him, pointing at the screen, going crazy, and you could just see him just kind of standing there, like sitting there just calm, no reaction. It's like you need that to do something to you. You're Kylian Mbappe. You won the World Cup at 19.
Yeah,
you almost won it again against Messi 4 years ago. You're one of the greats. Be a leader. Kylian Mbappe's play is so good, he doesn't have to do a lot of talking. You know who he is. You know what you're getting. Use that and then just do what you need to do to be a leader out there on the training grounds or when you're traveling with your team, and let this team be one of the greatest teams that Real Madrid's ever seen. Because Mbappe has, and I hate to get on this tirade about it, but Mbappe has the potential to be, if not the greatest, one of the greatest Real Madrid soccer players of all time. Up there with Raul, up there with Ronaldo. But right now, he's nowhere near it. Even though he's scoring as well as he is, it just doesn't feel like he's that, because he doesn't have that leadership that you said he needs, and I agree with you.
Yep. I think he gets the captain's armband because he's the best player, but is he the best leader?
Man, I can go on for days about that.
I know. The second thing, I don't want to take anything away from Elche either in this game. They played with swag in this game. Like it almost seemed like they felt like they were Real Madrid, and they're like, we about to go play Elche.
Hey, you get the one first goal that they scored, and all of a sudden you are the good team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The little back heel side flick, the first goal. I was like, okay, all right, swag. So yeah, I don't want to take anything away from them either. You know, they came out, they played hard, they did their thing. So they took care of business.
Yeah, they did. They did indeed. But we'll see what happens. Tune in next week on Dragon Ball Z to see what Real Madrid does. All right, let's go to the MLS. Let's talk MLS and then we'll go into the World Cup. But Messi did it. He's already got some trophies for Inter Miami, but he finally won the big one, the MLS Cup against Vancouver. the Vancouver Whitecaps, who have Thomas Muller, another one of our favorites, another great striker who I probably should have brought in that conversation when we were talking about great strikers. Sorry.
Hindsight.
Yeah, guys, let me talk to the audience for a second. When we're shooting this podcast, sometimes we get a little nervous when we're talking and we forget everything we prepared. I promise you, we don't just turn on the camera. We do some research. We talk about how we're going to talk, and then as soon as we get on the camera, we turn into like deers and headlights.
Like,
so
whoa,
sorry,
the lights are on.
But anyway, Messi gets his first trophy. Messi gets his first MLS Cup. John, you still owe me. He knows what I'm talking about. And that is a great thing for the league, and I think we got a good game, even though it was 3-1 and it was very the game was a one-way trap, in my opinion. Great play ball on both sides, but it was never in doubt for me that Inter Miami was going to win this game. And if you really just look at the roster, if you really just look at the lineups, it was almost like, all right, come on. He's playing with the second string of the Argentine national team. So
pretty much.
I don't see how this is not going to work out for him. And he's playing with his buddies from Barcelona. Like, the team is just too well put together for them to lose. I do believe they will come back next year and repeat as well. And I think it'll be actually in dominating fashion, being with everything they have going on. I think I want to say Jordi Alba may not be back on the team next year. I think there was talks of him. He's done.
He's retiring. Yep.
But I don't know about Suarez. Have you heard anything about Suarez?
Most likely retiring. I haven't heard anything, but
yeah,
you know.
So with all that being said, I just believe that it was a great MLS Cup. Messi has won the trophy. You gotta give it to this guy. I just read he's got 48 trophies, and I think he's either one away or he did pass Sir Alex Ferguson's amount of trophies he's got in his entire managerial career with this MLS title. At this point,
greatest of all time.
That's the only way to say it. It's like we were in the group chat, we were talking about it, and I'm not going to bring up Cristiano. I'm just having this blanket. Who's the greatest soccer player of all time? When you're talking about Pele, when you're talking about Maradona, when you're talking about Ronaldo, whoever, nobody has played at this level and consistently done it, even in his older age. I get it, he's in the MLS, but if you've been watching, I mean, we've been watching, but if you watch every single game and you see him play, it's too easy. Nobody should be, I don't care if it's the MLS, it's still professional soccer. There are still professional soccer players out there, and they look like me. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, with that being said, it's just like, it's one of those things where Messi's greatness is something that we need to all just appreciate and not for what it is. But hey, another trophy, another day. How do you feel about this?
Another trophy, and he had 2 assists. So it's not like he was out there just being out there. You know, he had 2 assists.
Yeah, not to interrupt you again, I always do this.
You're
very, very much involved with the team's goal scoring activities throughout the entire season. And it wasn't just penalties. Like, we always like to do how many penalties. He only had 3 penalties this year. He was giving those penalties away to other players. Mm-hmm. It's too easy for him.
Yeah.
Like, anytime I watch him play, because I was at the bar with my dad watching this game, actually. It was his birthday. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, what are we
yeah,
like, what are we debating at this point? This guy's the GOAT.
Yeah, he's there's nothing else more that he can do, I think, to solidify himself as the greatest of all time. I think he's reached a pinnacle, and everything he's doing now is just for fun. Yeah. It's just for funsies. It's just for the Apple TV checks.
Exactly.
That's all it is for.
And I get it, it's the MLS, but he was playing on the same field as Thomas Muller. Also, little side note, there's a picture that was on Twitter of Messi holding the trophy, and in the picture, in the camera, you see Muller's reflection looking at the trophy and Messi with like the craziest face. I'm gonna put it in the pod so everybody can see it. Oh my God, it's hilarious. Whoever that photographer was, he needs a raise, because that was some talent. That, like, to get that shot,
yeah,
chef's kiss.
Okay, you gotta keep an eye out. Gotta keep that eye out.
But yeah, he's playing on the same field as Thomas Muller, so it's not like he's out there with nobodies. in totality. But yeah, great player, great champion.
It was a great game too.
Yeah.
I was thoroughly entertained. Vancouver, they had their chances. They didn't take them too well, but very, I guess, impressed with Sebastian Berhalter though. I think
Yeah,
he's gonna be.
he's a great soccer player.
Yeah, he's
He's
really
a
good.
great
He's gonna be
soccer
a
player. He
great
needs to
piece on the US team.
he needs to get out of the MLS and probably
Agreed.
hit the Eredivisie or a Serie A or something and
Agreed.
get some more skill, get some more time on the field with different looks. But
Yep.
he is a great player.
Yep. Agreed.
I also do like, just to get back to the MLS and their presentation of the final. I do like that they're not doing what they used to do back in the day, which was they've been not doing it for a while, but I just wanted to talk about it on the pod, where they're not doing where they just play it in a neutral playing zone for the finals.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the MLS is not where other leagues are, where you can just have the finals anywhere in the country and people will show up.
Yeah. Agreed.
It makes more sense to have somebody be the home team and somebody be the away team. And I think the MLS got it right with making sure that somebody had home fans for this game, because that was one of those things that I always kind of felt like, especially with the NWSL and the MLS, is like they tried to. I agree we have to follow the path of all American sports and make sure the process kind of works out the same so that the casual can get it. But at this point, we're not at the point where you can just have the Kansas City Sporting KC versus Seattle Sounders in Charlotte.
In New York.
In New York. Like, nobody's going to that. Nobody's going to that game.
Right.
There's not enough neutral fans for that just yet. Build your product, then you do that. Hopefully, here's what I'll say. Being that Messi just signed his new contract, if the MLS makes the right moves for the next couple of years, by the time Messi's retiring or leaving the league to go back to wherever wherever he's going next, they should be in a position where there's enough fan support and there's enough people around the sport that they can actually finally do that neutral home ground game. But for now, keep it the way it is.
It would be nice, neutral ground game.
Yeah, have it in Charlotte so that we can see it.
Right, exactly.
Or, DC or so
somewhere
we can
close.
see it.
Somewhere close.
So, but I mean, that's just all I have to say on that. And congratulations to Lionel Messi, obviously. Thomas Muller probably get it next year, and then who knows where it goes from there. Well, actually, Thomas Muller's not getting it. I already said Messi's going to win it again. But I like Thomas Muller. I would like to see him get one, but maybe Messi was like, nah, I remember what you did to Brazil and
right.
and, on their home turf back in the day. You're not about to embarrass me out here. But let's get to our final topic of the day, the World Cup draw.
Oh, yeah.
I have opinions. So before we get into the actual World Cup draw, I just want to say, when you see an organization do something very innovative or very cutting edge or new and exciting that works for them, it's not always best to just do it for yourself and say it's going to work for me too. Because I think the FIFA as an organization learned, or maybe they live in a world of ignorance and they don't care, or they're making the money either way, but they realize the presentation they had for this World Cup draw was just so long and drawn out with awards that we won't get into and pageantry that felt like this is not what we came to see. We came to see a draw. We want to see where everybody's playing, but we gotta hear all these stories and all this talking, and the back and forth between like the hosts was very off to me. It just felt like it was kind of like they tried to piece something together they didn't piece well enough. And the back, like even when Shaq was talking at one point, I was kind of like, what's going on? Like it didn't seem like that was like in the script.
What's going on, big fella? What's going on?
Or wanting Wayne Gretzky to open. The thing is, like, Wayne Gretzky's a senior citizen. Let him take his time and open up the ball and tell you who's playing next. Like, it was a lot of everything all over the place all at once. And I was just kind of like, this is too much. What did you? I don't know. What did you think of it?
I see their vision. I see their vision. They wanted, there's 4 pots. You get one sports figure from, the four big sports in the US. and they wanted it to be a spectacle. Like that's what they wanted. Now the little concert that they had afterwards, they could have shut that down. I was like, they don't need none of that. Yeah. They pay. Turn the TV off. Turn the TV off.
You know that little meme of Lil Waddy when he like looks at the game, he's like, and just hits the screen. That's what I do. That's exactly what I got what I needed.
Yeah, this is too much. This is too much. YMCA, like we don't need all this, bro.
Yeah, the YMCA thing. Honestly, that's exactly the point where I turned off my TV. Was when they got up and it's fun to stay. Wow, I'm like, because at first I was looking at them, I was about to take a picture and send that out. Are these actually people from the band I made it, or are these just guys dressed up as them? Because I thought at this point, I'm in my 30s. Ain't no way those people are still.
They can't be. They can't.
There's no way. There's no way, right? Because that song's been out. That song was old when we were born.
In fact.
So that whole thing to me was like, oh my god, here, like, what is this? But
yeah,
too much, too soon. Like, if you want to get into like making your draw more presentable, there's a way to do it, and I think they just try to throw too many things. They put too much glitter and paint on this for me. Give us a little presentation, show us where the game of soccer is gone, show us what stadiums are being built around the world, show us what FIFA's doing around the world for the community, and give us a draw. But they had to do what they had to. They did what they did. They catered to everybody. It definitely felt like it was a bigger event that had more to do with everything but soccer.
Yeah, no, it's sometimes simple is better.
Yeah, let's get to the draw because we're not going to just talk about that. We're going to talk about soccer. So these groups to me, and here's where, so I got a couple things about the drawing process this year. So obviously this is the first time they're opening up the World Cup, so there's more teams involved this year. But the new rule, the rule now is only 2 teams from Europe can be in the same bracket. And every team essentially, like, to explain this to the audience in a way that makes more sense. Every bracket has one team from each region. Then there's 2 European teams. But other than that, everybody who's playing in these groups are going to be from another continent for the most part. I get it, in theory, it makes sense to put everybody, to spread out the brackets based on geography. But with that being said, it also kind of like takes away from the competition of it all in the early stages of the World Cup for me, because I do feel like this will lead to a less exciting group stage for the World Cup, because Haiti's gonna get destroyed every single game in that bracket with Brazil. We're gonna talk about Brazil more towards the end because I got some thoughts on them as well. But Haiti stands no chance. I'm sorry. I got a buddy who's Haitian, and he was so excited. He was like, "Kurt, you gonna talk about them? You gotta talk about them on your podcast." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll talk about them." But when that draw came out, I told him like, "Hey, buddy, it's not looking good for you.
It's not looking good.
It's gonna be real sad in that house. Be a wrap. It's gonna be real sad in that house when Haiti start playing Brazil, and Esteban just running around in circles." But hey, that's how it is. Panama also got the raw end of the deal, and that's one that's near and dear to my heart as well, as you can tell. Can't see it in the camera, but I'm always supporting, even though I'm a U.S. guy. But they're playing England, Croatia, and Ghana. But other than that, from what I see in these group stages, the only real group of death, maybe. I mean, I don't really think there's any kind of. I mean, I'll let you tell me what you think. But for me, just casually, I've been scrolling for a couple of weeks through it, see what I think could possibly happen and what could not happen. And nothing in these groups stick out to me except for maybe Group I, which is France, Senegal, and Norway, for one reason. I don't think Norway has enough to get out the group stage. I do think they will be competitive enough to lead it to the last day to try and get into the group stage. Because as good as Norway is, it's real to me. They need a little bit more on that team than just Odegaard and Haaland and the other guys, the other few players they have around them to be successful. Senegal's coming. Senegal's gotten better. Yep. I know they don't get a lot of airtime national or worldwide, but they've gotten better. All the Morocco as well. Most of these African nations have gotten a lot better in terms of their tactics. Talent's always been there. It's just the tactics that have been suffering. But I do believe Senegal and France have the best opportunity to get out of that group, which in my eyes is the group of death, the most competitive group. But this is what happens. There is no group of death when you're separating everything by regions, because every European team is probably going to play some South American team that isn't that talented. Because as good as South America as a region is in totality in soccer when it comes to the talent, certain countries within this area just don't have it yet. They're a little far from it, like Panama or like Bolivia, who might get into it because they're in the same group as Norway and Senegal. But it's too easy to beat a South American team for some of these European teams that are coming in who got the opportunity because they have more teams. What do you think?
No, I think, the group I think if we had to pick a group of death, that is the one. But honestly, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna sleep on Norway getting out. Um,
I'm 100%
they
sleeping on
still have
Norway getting
Holland.
out.
They still have Holland. And I think that not many other teams have they're a go-to striker like that. So
I 100% agree with you. But
if he can show up in this tournament, I think that'll be good for them.
All right, I'm about to return this serve real quick. Let me stretch out.
Let's get it.
All right. So, how many times have you seen Erling Haaland just kind of go 0 dark 30 and disappear in the game?
I mean, it happens.
Starting from let's start from Borussia Dortmund. How many Borussia Dortmund Bayern Munich games did Haaland step up?
A few. I mean, offhand, I couldn't tell you, but it happens from time to time.
Here's my theory. Now that there are more teams in the World Cup final stage, there are going to be teams like, let's go back to 2012 with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. If they had this many teams in the World Cup qualifications at that point that they do now, he probably would have got in with Gabon, just off the sheer numbers of it. He would have been one of that African team could have become one of those teams that just off of that. Do you think that team's going to be able to compete with France with just Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and maybe one or two other decent soccer players?
No,
only two European level caliber soccer players.
Yeah, well, I feel like that's different. Norway is way better than Gabon.
And I will say that they are a lot better than Gabon, but it's the same premise for me. And I do believe that to just automatically say, oh, Norway and France, it's kind of disrespectful to Senegal, because Senegal has been in the World Cup a couple of times now, and they're familiar to this. Norway is not.
That's true.
They weren't at the last World Cup. I don't know when the last time they got in the World Cup was. I should have figured that out before I got on, but whatever. And that's gonna be where it comes. Experience always outweighs talent. Any step of the way. And I do believe Senegal has that experience that Norway does not have. Now, France clearly going to walk away with it. I would like to see what happens with their roster, though, because Pogba just got back on the field for Monaco. I haven't seen a lot from him yet. I haven't seen anything to say he's back to what he was before his suspension with FIFA. But if Pogba can get himself in some sort of position to be on that roster, I do believe this team is unstoppable. Let me explain that for a second. I'm not saying Paul Pogba is the guy who's going to score 100,000 goals or be the player of the tournament or anything of that nature. I don't believe that. That team has so many more talented players who've been playing in EPL in this 400 days that he hasn't been playing soccer. They're going to be the guys that run the thing. There is not a single better passer in the world than Paul Pogba. I'm just going to say that at this point. I know people don't want to hear that from me, but if you just watch the way this guy moves on the ball, and this might sound like a hot take or whatever, but this guy knows how to pass the ball. No matter what happens, he might not be able to score all the time. He might not be able to, be as that presence as you want him to be, the star, the Yaya Toure that we think that we compare him to. But he does know how to pass the ball. At the end of the day, he can do that. Put him around Mbappe, Ekitike. I don't even have to name the French national team.
Barcola.
Throw a dart against the roster of the French national team. If he passes the ball to any of those guys, it's a goal. He's that good. But give me the pushback. I'm ready because
Okay,
this
okay,
ain't the
okay.
first time the last time we're doing it. We still got a bit of one.
All right. So, yeah, Paul Pogba. I don't think they can go wrong with adding him to this team.
Mhm.
Issue is they do have people on the team already that are, for argument's sake, maybe they're you know 60% the passer that Paul Pogba is, but they're also going to get you 4 or 5 goals. So,
Okay.
do you need him on the team? No, you don't need him on the team. They've been winning without him on the team.
I agree.
So
They didn't win. They didn't win the World Cup without him, though.
yeah, I mean that's fair, but I don't think that they should be holding their breath to have him on the team. I think
I mean,
that if he okay,
okay.
if he does find his old form, or even half of or 60-70% of his old form, and they do see where he can fit into this squad, then yeah, definitely. You always, like you said, experience that World Cup experience. You can't fake that. You can't practice that. You can't simulate that.
Mhm.
So that would be it would be good to have him.
Yeah.
But this French squad is so deep. They don't need Paul Pogba.
And my brother, I hear you on all of that, but I'm telling you, Paul Pogba would be the cherry on top. I'm not saying they need him. They can still compete without him. We're not. Either way, this is a World Cup in the Americas. None of them are going to win it because the Heat should get all of them out of here. But but it's like, would you rather go into a forest with wild animals with a shotgun, or just with a rope so you can climb a tree and hide out and maybe you'll make it through the night? I'm going with the shotgun. Paul Pogba's that shotgun.
Paul Pogba's the shotgun?
That might have been an extreme metaphor, but that's the way I'm going. You see where I'm going with it, dog.
I see,
Like,
yeah,
as soon as you said that, I was like, okay, that's very extreme. But he you're better off with it than without it, right?
Mm.
Mm.
Ugh. I like I said, I don't think you need him.
You don't. I
So
get that.
I feel like if they can strengthen another area, if they can add another defender to their
Mhm.
squad and leave Paul Pogba off, I think they're okay doing that.
That
Or
would
if
be
you
a
want to
smarter
add
move. That
another
would be a
attack,
smarter
leave
move.
him off and add another attacker or something like that. Like it's at that point it's kind of a numbers game. But that's all to say, if he can find his form again.
It is a big if, but from what we've seen in the past, like performances, there have been like performances at best. There haven't been anything where he's played a full 90.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it shows that he's not like out of it, like he can't play anymore. It's just he hasn't played in a while.
Yeah.
So in the next 3-4 months,
we might as well bring N'Golo Kante back too.
Here's the thing. I have an opinion. I have an opinion that he is going to be on the team, and everyone's gonna be like, "Why is he on the team?" And then he's going to play, and then like, "Okay, that's why he's on the team. He might be in the RSL right now, but he's still N'Golo Kante. He's still going to run from this box to that box in 2 seconds, and then go back forward. It's like anybody who's willing to run that much, you can put him on your team.
Yeah.
I would honestly justify him being on the team more than I would justify Paul Pogba being on the team, simply out of the fact that he's more of a workhorse.
I would agree with that.
But those passes that Paul Pogba got, man, come on now. Now let's talk about a guy who I don't think needs to be on the roster. Then, since we're talking about who should and shouldn't be,
okay.
There's been a lot of talks about Brazil and their group. We already talked about their group where they're playing Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. I mean, sorry, Haiti, again. Sorry, guys. It's not going to work out for you guys. But I have seen a lot of rumblings in the past couple days about Neymar and his potential to return to the Brazilian national team for this World Cup. I am 100% against that. It makes zero sense, and it feels like what they were doing. It feels like what they did with Ronaldo at the end of his career. They put him out there knowing good and well he was not that player anymore, and all it did was make him look worse. I'm saying this just in terms of just thinking about his legacy. Like, I always compare things like this to, like, I would compare the end of great players' careers to Brett Favre. When Brett Favre was in the NFL playing for the Green Bay Packers, greatest player of all, everybody loved him, great guy, throws the ball 100 yards, the greatest quarterback of all, everybody loved him. He had his issues with them, went to the Minnesota Vikings, didn't work out, New York Jets didn't work out, started playing horribly, just trying to play and show that he could still show that franchise that told him he had to go, that he could still play, and he ended up looking worse. And for a lot of people, me specifically, somebody who watches football, I remember Brett Favre's great days, but I definitely remember his bad days because they were at the very end of his career where I could remember it. I don't want that memory. I don't want that to happen to Neymar. I don't want to be like, I remember Neymar's great career, but I also remember when he played for Brazil in the World Cup and was throwing up a dud. They had him. I saw on Twitter they have a super cut of him with his team in Brazil, where it's just super cuts of all of his like mishaps and bloopers, where he's just slipping and falling all over the place on the field and getting caught up in the net and looking like he's out of shape. It's just like, you can't put this guy on this roster. What do you think?
Okay. So we're gonna allow Paul Pogba to touch the field, but we're not gonna allow Neymar to touch the field.
Yes,
that's crazy.
Paul Pogba's in better shape. Like, let's go look at Instagrams. Like, go look at Instagrams right now.
Yeah. Nah, I think when you talk about the experience, we all know Neymar is not going to start on this team. All right, that's crazy. That's blasphemy. If he starts for the Brazilian national team, but I do think he will bring some level of competition to the squad. I think that players know that, he for lack of he is a lot of your favorite players' favorite player. You know what I mean? So like they know that when he shows up, like he's not taking it lightly. Like he's gonna play. So I think that he will bring a level of competition to that team. I don't see why if the roster allows for it, if Don Carlo can find a spot for him. Yeah. I don't
Italian goat, baby.
Yeah. I don't see how you leave him off. Just also based off experience. Maybe you run into a PK shootout. Maybe you run into, where you need to have a bunch of attackers on the field. You need to get a goal somewhere. Or you need to get a free kick somewhere. You need somebody to flop.
You ready?
He's your guy. He's your guy.
You ready?
Oh, go ahead.
Brazil has a Neymar, and his name is Esteval.
This guy's crazy.
Let's be honest.
Internet, I don't condone this.
Let's be honest. Esteval is right now, of the Brazilian players, he's trending up. I'm a Chelsea fan, so obviously I'm keen on him. But you have a lot of players who play like Neymar. If you were telling me you're putting Neymar on this team to just be like a figure, like a Tracy McGrady on the Spurs, or something that he's just there to get the ring or something like that, I'll give you that. I'll give you that all day. But they're talking about this guy like he's going to be an integral part of the team, and I just can't see it at this point. My other thing about Neymar, and I'm not trying to bash Neymar as an athlete, because I think he's one of the greatest, not the great, he's one of the greats. He's an amazing player. He's a legend. Not the greatest soccer player, one of the greats. But with that all being said, when he had the team, when he's the leader of a team, the performance doesn't really equal what he is as a player. When he had PSG, it was kind of like, are you going to win the champion? Like, it was about the Champions League. I don't care what anybody says. When they signed him, they brought him there to win the Champions League, and he didn't do it. That was it. They can win 100 league ons and 100 league cups or whatever. That's an easy trophy. You brought him there to win the Champions League. He could not do that. And then at the end of his time in PSG, you got him Mbappe and Messi, and he still couldn't complete it. What is his leadership? What is his value as a leader? And when you talk about that, like, he's not going to be the guy that's like, I got this, guys. Follow me. I'll lead us to victory, because he can't do it. Or he hasn't done that. I'm not going to say he can't do it. He has not done that.
I think it's not. He's not there to be the leader. He will be on this team because everybody loves their nation, right? Like, everybody loves the country that they were born in, things like that. Brazilians take it to a whole new level. They bleed Brazil through and through, and 100%. It shows the way that they play. Even when they're doing interviews, they're like, oh, they talk about Brazil, this and that. And I don't think Neymar will be on this team to be, quote unquote, a leader. They have a captain, they will put him on this team strictly because he would do any and everything that he can to see Brazil holding that trophy at the end of next summer.
Mm-hmm.
So whether he's going to play a lot or not, I think that's to be determined. That's up to, honestly, that's up to the rest of the players on the team. To be real with you, that's up to them. But I think you'll be hard pressed leaving him off of a roster. He scored 5. He had 5 goals, 5 goals and assist in Santos' last 4 games for them to avoid relegation. He went back to his club, his boyhood club, to help them avoid relegation, just strictly off the love of the game. You telling me that's a person you don't want on your team? That's crazy.
He didn't say. He did save them from relegation, but his team saved them from relegation. I get it. He did step up at the end. Well, how'd you get there? I mean, he did come mid in the season, but it's still like, bro, you had time. You had time to not be in the relegation zone.
you had time to win games. What are you talking about?
You had time not to be there. You could just not get in the relegation zone, and you wouldn't have that problem. But we always say, "Oh, look at how he brought them out of the bad situation." He didn't put them in it, but if you're Neymar, like you say, now it's not like I hate Neymar. I don't hate Neymar. I just don't think he should be on this team. That's all. I'm not acting like he's not the greatest. Not one of the greats. But it's just, let's be real about it for a second, guys. Like, you got, especially, and I'm also saying this because I'm still going to be on the hill of Brazil has the best chance just based off where this World Cup is located.
Team full of wingers.
Yeah, and that too. But it's just like, you can't have these many advantages and then say, oh, you know what, we're just gonna throw like Neymar in here too to try and win it for us. Like, no. You got all these young guys. You got João Pedro. You got Paqueta. You got all these guys who you can get to be the new. Like, this is Brazil's at their best when they don't go backwards. And what I'm saying with that is, yeah, you have Ronaldo, and now Ronaldo's old. We got Adriano now. Okay, Adriano's not playing that well. Okay, here's Robinho. You go to the next man. You don't go back. And if you go to Neymar at this point, you're going back. This is opposite of what you've done your entire time as an organization. Don't start now, because what that will do is put you in a place that you don't want to be. You'll end up looking like you don't want to be the country where it's like, remember when Brazil was actually good at soccer and now they're just doing whatever? Like, you don't want to get to that point. You know what I mean?
No, that's fair. I do. I think it's this is more of a situation of in Don Carlo we trust. We kind of trust him to do the right things. Right. So he was a person that throughout, what was it, last 2 years ago, when every time Rodrigo stepped on the field, he scored a goal.
Yeah,
like, bro, that's the person he has sitting the bench.
Exactly.
He was like, so he's not afraid to make those decisions. Also, I feel like, so kind of plays into it. Most coaches aren't like that. When their national team federation is like, hey, you need to pick up this person, you need to play him. He ain't like that. If I'm gonna pick him up, I'm gonna play him on my time. Not
Exactly.
on his time.
When you're the
So-
greatest coach of all time, you can do that, but we'll have that conversation another day. Let's close out this World Cup talk with the U.S. national team. We weren't going to do this episode and not talk about the USA.
Yes, sir.
All right. So our group D as it stands is us, Paraguay, Australia, and the winner of the playoff between Turkey, Kosovo. I can't remember the other two, and I don't know their acronyms, but it's most likely going to be Turkey. I'm going to start out by saying this, and this is what I've been saying to you personally for about 3 years now since the last World Cup. This is an easy group.
Yep.
We always get fortunate when it comes to picking the groups. Like I don't care what anybody says. That group of death that we were in was it South Africa or was it with Portugal and Ghana?
Ooh, actually, that was a good.
I didn't think that one was as tough as people made it out to be. I was kind of knew it was going to be us, and I knew Portugal was going to be the team that didn't get out of the three. You could tell just how things were setting up at that time, but we did get out of there. But my thing is this: every time we go out the group stage, what happens? We go through the first round exit. This year, that cannot be the case. There's no excuse. There's no, this is a new team. This is a new coach. This is a new nothing. I don't want to hear any of that. I don't want to sound like Alexi Lalas either, but winning is the only thing you need to do right now. You need to be the group stage. You shouldn't lose any of those games. Even if it's Turkey with Arda Güler, you should not lose a single one of those games because the U.S. national team that I've seen of late has been trending up. Diego Luna needs to be on his roster. We'll talk about the roster later, but Diego Luna needs to be on the roster because I think he's he is the engine of this team. That guy, man. I could talk about him for another 3 hours, but they need to get out of this group, and they need to get out of the. You gotta be. It's gonna sound extreme, and I know you're gonna be on low. We gotta be talking semis, quarters or semis. It can't be anything less.
That's a lot to ask for, but I don't think it's selfish to ask for that.
Yeah, because it's like just to add on to it. Like there have been you can be the Cinderella, and it will be overperforming for us to some people, but to me, that's where we should be at this point. Because you can't get out of you can't graduate from getting out of the group stages every year. You can't do the same. It's like the Bulls. The Bulls were at a point where they had Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler, Carlos Boozer, all those guys, where they were just dominating the regular season. Then they got to the playoffs, and then it just a generation stink. At some point, they just fall apart every time. We cannot be that team anymore. Because what do you do when you had those teams? You blow them up. This isn't a club team. This is a national team. There is no blowing it up. You got to figure this out. So I like where everything. I like how Pochettino's running the team at this point. I need him to continue with the way he's doing things. I need improvement from everybody on this roster. I need everybody training. And hey, if we don't get to the round of 16, we don't get past where we've been in these last couple of years, I don't know. Pochettino's got to get fired. Everybody who's on this roster, you have to really consider what their future is moving forward with this U.S. national team if they cannot win. If this team does not get out where I say they need to be, I personally believe the version of playing that needs to happen is they need to just stop giving them appearances for the national team, friendlies and all that stuff, and start working with the younger guys. Work with the younger guys and see what you can do with them. Because if these guys can't do it after all the nonsense that's been going on between them and the older guys, who, in my opinion, have done nothing for the game of soccer in this country because nobody's ever won anything other than gold cups. I don't know. You gotta. It's gonna be, to me. It's gonna be really. If you do anything less than what I've said, it's gonna be really, really bad for this country.
No, I'm with you on a lot of that. As soon as they said Group D, Australia, I said, "Oh yeah, we got it."
Yeah, I was like,
we easy. Wait, we got them, boys. We got them.
The picture of Nick Saban at the national, where everybody's holding the national title celebrating, he just like standing with his hands like this, smiling. I was like, yeah, that's me. I was like,
right,
yeah, this gonna be easy.
But we always say that, right? We always say that this is an easy group. This should be an easy group. This is it, and we end up drawing 3 games 0-0. or we winning 1, losing 2. I don't. We outside of those 23 players and the coaching staff, we can say that it's an easy group. But it's up to those players and that coaching staff to approach every game like it is the final. And that is the kind of mentality that they need to have going in. Anything less than that, we will lose and we will be disappointed and we will be upset and we will be sitting here talking about them, criticizing them for everything that they've done.
I
So
agree.
these players need to realize that they have a very unique opportunity to go in and not only make a name for themselves, make a name for this country in the sport of soccer.
Mhm.
You know, and they really can
Shake the snow globe.
shake the snow
Is
globe.
they can shake the snow
Yeah,
globe. Like,
they
this
can
could be,
boost and bring up everything about US soccer that can be, you know, boasted and
yeah.
brought up.
Like,
Yeah.
my thing is, this could be the year. This could be the pivotal moment in U.S. soccer where not only does it help you become like you can. Let me just start. Let me back it up for a second because this is gonna be another long monologue by your boy Kurt.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
So see how I moved a little cord out the way because I'm like, I'm gonna do a mirror and
Hit
really
one of
get at
these.
him. If the U.S. national team overperforms well or overperforms in the opinions of most fans, this could be the catalyst moment where kids all over the country decide, I want to be a soccer player. This could be the moment where the MLS becomes way more popular than what it was in these past couple of years with this crazy TV deal they did with Apple Music. This World Cup could save a lot of things, not just for the U.S. national team, but for soccer in this country as a whole. And I think it needs to be pressed upon not just the team, but the pundits that talk about this sport with them, because it seems like every time we get into these conversations about the U.S. soccer and the U.S. national team, it's always about who is the best player for this country. None of you were. Sorry, you didn't win anything. We can't beat the greats without any hardware to back it up. So the back and forth, I saw that documentary where the guys from this group of that was on my, we don't know why these guys are talking about us. They didn't win anything, and they have a point. They didn't win anything. But this back and forth between you guys just doesn't look good for anybody. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't make anybody want to play the sport. It doesn't make anybody want to be a fan of the sport or fan of the national team. These guys need to get it together and perform well. I don't want to hear any bad talk from Alexi Lalas or DeMarcus Beasley or Carlos Booker when they're announcing or Terry Tolman saying, well, Gio Reyna didn't do this, and that's why when we played, stop it. Stop it. You sound like a bunch of high school kids and JV varsity kids talking about we're the better guys. These guys didn't play like us when we were in high school. No. Win the game, grow the sport. That's what the U.S. national team needs to be worried about. I hope Pochettino has that mentality. It's just about everybody else around him. And I don't really know the dynamic between Pochettino and the U.S. Federation, Soccer Federation. But if it's what I think it is, it's one of those things where they're saying, you just coach and we'll handle the rest. That would be a problem. I think Pochettino needs more control of the U.S. Soccer Federation in order for the national team to be good or better than what it is. So I say all this to say, there's a lot that needs to happen, and I'm still critical. Like, I like where we ended this last international break in terms of performance, but I still need to see more, and I still need to see them come together, the federation and the team come together a little more before I'm confident in what they're going to do. But like I said, like I've said 100 times in this monologue, it can't just be out of the group stage losing the first round. That shouldn't be a problem for everybody if that happens.
Agreed. Yeah. First round should not be our goal. Our goal should be, quarters, semis. That is the goal.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. But they got to take care of business first.
Exactly.
They got to take care of what they need to take care of first.
Yep. All right. One last question before we get out of here.
Yeah, let's do it.
And it's U.S. soccer national team related. who I think from what I've seen from this national team, from what I've seen from this group of guys, we have a pretty complete roster here and there for the most part, except for one place where it's like we haven't really established who's going to be that guy in terms of striker.
Mm.
Who do you think is a striker right now? Because I'm leaning towards Flo a little bit. He stepped up and he's stepping up for a monitor, and it seems like he might be able to. If we give him some more time, I mean, he might be able to be the like a real striker, like what we thought Tim Lowe might have been, might have been able to be at one point. But I think now Tim Lowe is suited to be maybe in that midfield or on that right or left wing doing his thing with Flo at the center. But when Flo first came, you didn't know who was going to be a striker. But I do like his potential. Who do you think is going to be the striker? Because I think that's our biggest problem.
I think that
Our problem issue.
I think that Flo needs to be our striker. I think that he has the more well-rounded game out of our strike options.
Absolutely.
That being said, I need Haji Wright to act like he's that guy. You know, he got to act like it. He got to act like it because he's got to push. He's got to push for it.
Here's my thing about Haji Wright. I'm very. He's very. It's a love-hate relationship I have with that kid.
Mm-hmm.
Some days I'm like, yeah, that kid. If he couple years, give him a couple years, and he's gonna be the man. And then you see him sometimes, and it's like, what are you doing, man?
Like, whoa,
you were playing completely different not too long ago. What's happening? But it's it's just. Maybe it's just he's where he is. He's not comfortable. There could be a plethora of reasons to why I see him play. I'm like, wait a minute. But I do believe he is one of those guys that would be good for us off the bench. I don't see him as necessarily a starter. I see him as somebody to come off and give us a little bit of relief here and there, or if it's an emergency and we need somebody to step up for an injury, he's there. And it's like, okay, he might not be a flow, but he's still decent. We're not going to lose this game because he's out there. We still got the midfield. Get the ball to him so he can score. So that's what I feel like he is.
Yeah, no, I haven't watched him as much as I should have watched him.
Because
but you know,
we were playing for Coventry City for how long? It's like, come on, and we're not going to be able to see you over here in America. It's some of these players are playing in places where we just can't see. You have to literally actively find
search for the game,
a link somewhere to see them play, and that's what I got to do to see him play. When I saw him play for Coventry, the games I've seen him play for Coventry, sometimes I'm like, all right. I mean, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have made that play. I mean, I'm not good enough to be there to make that play. But obviously, like Monday morning quarterback considerations, like there are some decisions. I'm like, I don't know. But this could really end bad for us if he does it in a red, white, and blue jersey, or a white jersey, I should say, but for the red, white, and blue.
Yeah. No, I think what's but having a striker, I think will be our second biggest issue. I think our biggest issue is finding a midfield that works, finding more than one midfield combination that works.
Yeah.
Because we need that. The US always struggles in games when they cannot control the midfield. And in order to compete in a World Cup, you need to have different profiles of players to match the team that you're playing that can also still control the midfield. Our midfield gets skipped all the time playing. We go from defense to offense, offense to defense all the time. So that the midfield that Podge puts together is going to be crucial for the team. And I think that he knows that, which is why I think that we've seen the number of combinations in the midfield that we've seen in recent games and the friendlies and all that. So it does seem like he knows that, but that's going to be, I think, our number one biggest thing that they're going to have to figure out.
Do you think the midfield combinations, or do you think we're always going from defense to offensive passes because of the combination of the player, or do you think it's just they're not good or they're not good enough together?
I think it's a combination of the players.
Okay.
You have too many attacking midfielders that get caught up front, or you have too many defending midfielders that can't transition well forward. I
You
do
got Weston
think
McKennie randomly playing forward one day.
right, exactly. Bro, stay in the midfield. What are you doing? Like, stop. So yeah,
That's
and
one on
then
the team
right.
playing offense when he's supposed to be defense.
Exactly. And you got Tyler Adams chasing the ball back. Why is Tyler Adams the last man back? What are we doing? What are we talking about? So, but yeah, no, I think that whatever combination they find, it needs to they need to just buy in to each other.
Mhm.
I think that's a really big thing too. Like they gotta buy into the man beside you. You know, if you cover me, I'll cover you. Like we gotta work this out. We gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
So that midfield, get it done.
Gotta
Get it done, Poch. Sir Poch, Mr. Pochettino.
Yeah, never. He's diving into American sports. I saw him on. I follow USA Hockey. He was on there looking at the ice rink. I'm like, what are you doing? Go coach.
Bro, you got a World Cup coming out. Go study.
Going to Michigan to see the college football. Like, bro, you have a job.
You here having fun, bro. The USA check hit, boy.
Hey, you over here having fun out in America. I'm over here doing a conspiracy theory thought about the U.S. national team. But with that is episode 5 of World Soccer Daily, an Unsoccer Collective original. Follow us everywhere: Substack, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. Unsoccer Collective. Follow me on Wendell Instagram as well if you would like to. We'll be back later this week with another episode, talking to catching up with some of the results and headlines in the world. And we will see you guys again.
Peace.